I thought I saw you yesterday, but I didn't stop, cause you was walking the opposite way. I guess I could've shouted out your name, but even if it was you, I don't know what I would say. We could sit and reminisce about the old school, maybe share a cigarette because we both fools. Chop it up and compare perspectives, life, love, stress.
Your name?
My name is Richard Eugene Kinzer.
And how old are you?
I am 84.
Okay, and when were you born?
I was born August 21, 1930 in Buffalo, Wyoming.
So tell me about yourself, where you grew up and how you ended here in Spokane, Washington.
I spent the first 6 years of my life in Buffalo or around Buffalo, Wyoming. I would classify myself as a little sheep herder because my family raised sheep, and I was a sheep herder for quite a while. Then we moved to Port Orchard, Washington during World War II. Well, my father worked in the Navy Yard, and my mother worked at a cold storage plant, wrapping and packaging food and so on. I, on the other hand, jumped on a bus and went to school at South Kitsap High School. Then, once the war ended, we came back to Wyoming. And my parents had a ranch up on Crazy Woman Creek outside of Buffalo. And so I lived there for until I was, I don't know, through high school. And from high school, I went to college at Pacific University in Forest Grove, Oregon. But I knew my family couldn't afford my college education. So I and a good friend from high school went into Portland, Oregon and joined the United States Army. And I served 3 years, 6 months, and 16 days, but it gave me the GI Bill, which allowed me then to continue my education. I finished that education at the University of Wyoming with a Master's of Science in Physics and Biology, and then started a 37-year teaching and coaching career.
Okay. And so, what is this syndrome that you are living with?
Pardon me?
The syndrome that you're living with?
Syndrome.
Or, as some would say, a disease?
Well, I have, or I'm beginning to have, what is called dementia, which means that I'm losing my short-term memory. As yet, it hasn't really influenced my life. It might have influenced my relationship with my wife, which happens to be your grandmother. But other than that, it hasn't been a big deal as yet.
Okay. And when is the first time you realized your memory was fading?
I don't know. The last year or two.
Okay. And how is that different from Alzheimer's?
Well, what I have is a precursor to Alzheimer's. That means that it could lead into Alzheimer's as time goes along.
Okay. And so does it change and affect long-term memory?
I don't know that. I'm not an expert in the field. It hasn't at the present time. And I don't know. I think Alzheimer's might, if it progresses to that. But I'm a pretty old guy. I'm not going to give it much time to progress very far, I wouldn't think.
Okay. And do you think that your days get easier or harder?
Pardon?
Do your days get easier or harder living with this?
Well, since I don't do a hell of a lot anyway, it doesn't make much difference. Now, it might make some difference to your grandmother. I don't know that.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Anne Marie Kinzer. I was born in Spokane, Washington, January 18th, 1939. I'm your grandmother. And I retired from the community colleges of Spokane, September 2001. Retirement is wonderful.
Okay, and how long have you been married to Richard?
Oh, well, let's see. 39 years.
What did you know about dementia before it affected your family?
Only what I'd seen in newspaper, magazine articles, things like that. Really hadn't known anyone personally. Knew people that did have dementia or suffer from Alzheimer's, but not personally.
Okay. And what's your biggest fear with this syndrome?
That he'll completely forget everything and he'll disappear as a person.
What's the biggest struggle you've faced so far?
I'm not very patient, and I find it difficult to repeat myself several times a day or to remind him several times a day of what's transpiring or where we're going or what we're doing. I am continually repeating and reminding himself, and I am having to do a lot of things for him that I didn't have to do before. He no longer drives. He chose to give up driving himself, which really was nice, so there was no argument with regards to that. But that means that I'm not only the caregiver, but I'm the chauffeur and everything else. It's like raising kids again.
And what are your future plans?
I'm trying to be proactive. That means I'm trying to find out what's available out there in the way of retirement homes and things like that. We live in a duplex now. So I'm just trying to be proactive and find out what is available and what's out there, so I'm not surprised. Whether I take action or not, I don't know, but at least I want to be informed.
Okay. And do you think days get easier or harder for you personally?
Well, I think they're harder for me. Maybe that's a selfish way to look at it, but I didn't expect to be doing this in my golden years.
That you have seen?
Still Alice. And the Glenn Campbell. Still
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Okay, and what was Still Alice about?
Dementia. Alzheimer's.
Okay.
We had both read the book, and the movie was excellent. And it's about...
I like I already told you, I liked the book better than the movie. But that's neither here nor there. I enjoyed both.
And Glenn Campbell?
That was a follow-up on his last tour. And it was done by
I don't remember.
his children.
Yes, but I didn't remember that.
And
There's that Alzheimer's stuff.
and it was a reality thing, but it was done very well, and
Yeah.
it was excellent. I would like to see it on public television.
And Grandpa, what did you learn from those?
From that movie,
From both of those movies, yes.
I didn't go to them as an educational movie. I went to them as an enjoyment, and I enjoyed them. So I learned to enjoy the movie.
Okay, Grandma, what about you?
I promoted going because I thought it was informative, and I thought it was good, and I thought that he should see that and see maybe from the other side.
Okay, so did you learn anything?
No, I've been to a couple of workshops and everything, so it wasn't necessarily eye-opening or shocking. It was just informative.
Okay. Okay, and are you scared that you might develop this as well?
Oh, I'm sure it crosses my mind, but I don't have time for it.
Well, we're related, but we're not genetically related. So even if it's in the gene, she's not going to develop it that way.
Okay, and do you think that this is hereditary?
I think that there's been some documentation, yes, and I don't have it in my family, and I don't know that.
Thinking back, I can't think that I had it in mine. My father died at 92, and was still cognizant of the son. So I don't know. I don't know.
And in the past, people were looked at as crazy and losing their minds if they didn't remember things. Do you think that that's still the view today?
I don't think there's so much negativism toward Alzheimer's and dementia any longer. I think it's an open subject now, far more than maybe it was 10 or 15 years ago.
Lack of knowledge in the past. No research done. Nobody understood it. You were crazy.